Hey everyone, this is Dim. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode where in this series we are doing a chapter by chapter read through of this incredible book, The Way of the Superior Man, and doing a little discourse at the end so you can apply the beautiful wisdom that's in this book into your own life. So if you've not seen our previous episodes, The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida, the subtext is a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. And it is, I would say, one of the most incredible men's books of all time, just in terms of navigating the challenges of life in general, be it work or relationships. Now, we're just about to get into part 2 of the book, which is called Dealing with Women. And look, it can get pretty controversial because some people don't know how to take subtlety. There is so much wisdom in this. I can't wait to get into this chapter. It's called Chapter 16, Women Are Not Liars. And I really encourage you to see if you can get out of your own way in terms of the judgment and charges and triggers you have, and just see what kind of wisdom you can extrapolate from this. And I'll do a discourse at the end, a little discussion at the end, so you can apply it because there is some incredible wisdom here. So without further ado, Chapter 16, Women Are Not Liars. Keeping your word is a masculine trait in both men and women. A person with a feminine essence may not keep her word, yet is not exactly lying. In the feminine reality, words and facts take a second place to emotions and the shifting moods of a relationship. When she says, "I hate you," or "I'll never move to Texas," or "I don't want to go to the movies," it is often more a reflection of a transient feeling wave than a well-considered stance with respect to events and experience. On the other hand, the masculine means what it says. A man's word is his honor. The feminine says what it feels. A woman's word is her true expression in the moment. When you listen to your woman, listen to her as you would the ocean or the wind in the leaves. The sounds you hear from her are the sounds of the motion of her feeling energy. Of course, there are times when she speaks in the masculine style of meaning exactly what she says. But more often, and almost always in emotional moments, what she says is the sound of her feelings. Her feminine speech is far more like poetry than a clear-cut agenda for action. In an emotional moment, what she says she is going to do is actually an expression of what she feels like doing in the moment. Her feelings, and therefore what she's actually going to do, could change in 5 minutes. It could change every 5 minutes. But whenever you are surprised by your woman's actions and you say to her, "But you said," you are forgetting that she has a feminine essence. What your woman says is like a cloud passing by in the sky, well-formed, coherent, and unrecognizable moments later. The cloud is an expression of the precise physics of water, wind, and air. Your woman's words are expressions of the physics of her feelings, of your relationship, and of the nuances of the present situation, seen and unseen. A moment later, these factors will change, and so will your woman's expressions. You might ask her, "Do you want to go to the movies?" And she might reply, "Not really." Then you hug her and spin her around and say, "Let's go to the movies." And she says, "Okay." She's not talking about her desire to go to the movies. She's talking about the feeling of your relationship in the present moment. If after she said she doesn't want to go to the movies, you said fine and sat down and watched TV, you would be missing the point. She is not really saying she doesn't want to go to the movies, even though that's what she's saying. This is not lying. For a man, or for anyone speaking in a masculine style, to say something that is not true is lying. But for the feminine, truth is a thin concept compared to the thickness of her flow of feelings. The truth of the feminine is whatever she is really feeling in this present moment. So, when she says that she wants to move to Pittsburgh with you, and then after you have sold the house, she says she doesn't want to move with you, don't start yelling. But you said when she first told you she wanted to move, she was feeling good about the relationship. When she then told you she doesn't want to move, she was feeling bad about the relationship. Instead of arguing about what she said or didn't say, establish love in the intimacy first. The basic rule is this: don't believe the literal content of what your woman says unless love is flowing deeply and fully in the moment when she says it. And even then, know that she is probably talking about her current feelings, not necessarily about the subject of whatever she is talking about. Never base your plans on what a woman says she wants to do unless she is in the full flow of love when she says it. And then expect her to change her mind at any moment when her feelings change. Remember that a woman's feelings may be more sensitive to an unseen realm of nature than yours. Try to differentiate between your woman's shifting moods and her sensitive wisdom. Women are not liars, even though it may seem that way to men. This is why a man must ultimately be responsible for making his own decisions based on the deepest truth he can fathom. Otherwise, if he bends his course of truth to compromise for his woman's current and changing expressions, he'll probably end up blaming her. You should hear what your woman has to say and feel her depth carefully. Then, after you have fully considered her input, make your best possible decision from your own deep core. This way, if your woman subsequently changes her mind, you won't resent her for compromising your path. Rather, you can enjoy her subtle sensitivity and changing emotional weather patterns. You can proceed with or modify your actions in full gear, knowing you are always making the best choice available to you, having taken her depth of wisdom and her fluctuations of expression and mood wholly into account. So, yeah, wonderful chapter. I actually learned a lot from this chapter. And here's how I would relay this. I'll firstly say this. I had a gorgeous, beautiful fiance for 4 years. And we're no longer together as of, more than a year ago now. And it could be argued that I could be pretty jaded because, we thought we were going to get married. She said yes to marrying me. And then ultimately, it didn't work out. Now, it could be argued, but she promised blah, 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 right? So you should be a victim, right? But actually, I don't feel jaded. I don't believe I'm jaded. I love women. I love her. I respect her. I want the best for her. And I look forward to like a positive future. I really do. And I definitely am not jaded with women because I have very close female friends to this day. So why I say that is simply to say that I feel like I've really understood this chapter to its depth. And in a way that doesn't make me triggered or jaded against women, especially when it could be argued, hey, like exactly what happened, what he says in this chapter is what happened to you, Dim, which is that someone promised they were going to marry you and then it didn't work out. So like, how could you keep trusting them? How do you navigate that? So I say all that to say this. Number one, it's not actually about specifically female, women, gender. It's actually not about that. It's about masculinity and femininity. So this applies if you have two men in a relationship, you'll typically notice in a gay relationship, there's a more masculine one and a more feminine one. You see this in female lesbian relationships as well. There's typically a more masculine one and a more feminine one. Now, those poles can change at any time. Sometimes, so for example, let's say you are a straight guy and you've got a female girlfriend. there are times where you're emotional and you say things that you don't mean, right? Because you're emotional, right? And then there's times where she does it as well. So when you are emotional and you're in your feelings, you may say, yes, I want to be with you. Yes, let's do it. You might get carried away, and in the moment you might think, yes, you want a baby with her, but then your emotions can change and suddenly it's like you're the liar, right? So I recognize this. This is not about man and woman. It's about understanding that we all have masculinity and femininity within us. And the richer you understand and can appreciate your own feminine energy, this is the secret, by the way, why I have such billion-dollar level relationships is what I'm trying to show you here. The richer your relationship to your own feminine energy, the richer your relationship with the feminine on the outside, because it is the same thing. It is just a microcosm. So your relationship with the feminine energy on the inside of you is reflected in your relationships with women and reflected in your relationship with the world. Because everything that is changing and dancing around and full of color and vibrancy and all the good things in life, all the color, all the beauty and change and dance is femininity. Whether it is femininity, whether it's the femininity within your embodied within your woman, which you bring out if you're a more masculine male. It's the femininity in the ocean and in nature and in the world of changing events. And it's the femininity within you, within your changing emotions, right? So that's the first point. It's recognizing and enriching your relationship with your own feminine energy within you. Because the richer you can have that, the more fulfillment you'll find in your relationship with your intimate partner. Because especially if you're a more masculine male watching this. So I'll break down what that specifically means and how to apply it. But effectively, it's recognizing that feelings change, and when someone says, yes, I want to do this, or no, I'm out, or no, I don't feel like doing this or that, recognize that it is true in that it's a true reflection of how they're feeling. Now, why, especially in a man-woman, masculine, feminine, traditional relationship, why that's actually so important is because ultimately, if it's all just masculine style, which is just, cool, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Sure, you will do things, right? Yes, you will get married, or yes, you will buy this car, or yes, you will move to this location, or whatever. But ultimately, the reason you, if you're a masculine male, the reason you are in a relationship is usually because of the fulfillment that you get from the beautiful, loving, vibrant, like gorgeousness that is a woman, a feminine woman, right? Like it's the giggles and the hugs and the care and the nurturing and that beautiful love that you feel, right? Now, so that's why what she's saying is actually really important, because she's basically saying, yo, I'm not feeling that love, right? So sure, I can go to the movies with you, but I'm not feeling that love. So yeah, I'm making good on my word. Like, yes, I promised you we'll go for ice cream, and yeah, I'm here at ice cream, but you're not going to enjoy it because I don't really feel that love. The connection with us is not there. So it's actually like super valid, because you are already playing the pole. If you're the masculine male, you are already playing the pole of, we are going to go from X to Y to Z. You're already doing that one, right? So she's playing the other pole. And together you complete it, right? Because you need to obviously have boundaries and direction, which is, okay, we're going to go from here to here to here to here, right? You need that to just navigate the world and life, right? But then without fulfillment, what the fuck's the point? What the fuck's the point of going anywhere and doing anything if ultimately you're not feeling that depth of fulfillment? You're doing it so you can be presumably fulfilled and enjoy yourself. Because even if you make the money or whatever, like at the end of the day, like you're doing it to be happy and fulfilled, right? So she's speaking up for the other end. So it's not about trying to make her into your frame. It's appreciating the validity of this frame, right? And it doesn't mean just because, it doesn't mean overly doing it on this frame so that you compromise your frame. It's just appreciating that they're both important, both equally important. They both complete the bigger picture of life. So how you deal with it specifically is when she's sharing this with you, how she's feeling, it's like, it's good. She's basically kind of giving you a gauge and a temperature and understanding of the relationship dynamic, because she can feel it more subtly typically than you can. So she's helping you feel it, right? And she's helping you see the reflection of what's going on. And then at that time, as she says, then you can make a decision with that considered, where either you effectively are saying, you know what, like, I need to spend a little bit more time nurturing this relationship, before we do anything. Because what's the point of doing anything if the relationship's at zero, right? Or feeling emotionally bankrupt. So actually nurture this relationship more. And then, yeah, as you nurture the relationship more, she's like, cool, you know what, I'm down to do whatever with you because I feel good in the relationship. So I hope you can see the sense that I'm making here, right? Because it's like, yeah, what's the point of doing anything if the richness of the relationship is not there? And she's giving you like the measure of the bank account of the relationship, so then you can act accordingly. Furthermore, and I believe he gets into this as later chapters, even though he touched on it here, even if she's speaking in her feminine style, she still has wisdom. There's still wisdom to be taken from that feminine style, right? There's nuances and feelings that she gets. Like some really great guys that I know who have like really great relationships with really great women, the woman will say to the guy, I just don't get a good feeling about him. I don't know. I just don't get a good feeling about him. Whereas sometimes with a man, you can go, you know what, like, no, what do you mean? Like all the documents are fine. Like, like everything checks out. Like we did the due diligence. It all checks out. And the woman says, like, yeah, I know, but I don't know. Something just doesn't feel right about this. Like, and if you've had this experience, you'll realize how valuable that is to have someone on your team who has access to that level of intuition and feeling and can go, I know it all checks out on the surface, but I don't get a good feeling about this. It's very valuable. And so that's how you can recognize how valuable an asset you have and how they are different. If you wanted to be with a man, you'd be with a man, but you're with a woman for a reason. And this is about appreciating the reasons why you chose to be with a woman. Right? Like they're both very valuable team players. They both bring very valuable, like equally valuable things to the table, and we need each other. And the more you can appreciate the femininity within you, and that would be almost like even if you're single, when you do your due diligence on a deal or something, you're like, hey, it all checks out, but I don't know, man, something doesn't feel right about this. It's learning to have a rich connection with that, because often it's seeing something. He says it in the book. He goes, there's the seen realm and the unseen realm. There's things that we just can't explain, but you can feel something that's off about it. So it's just something to consider. And you know what it does? It doesn't mean you don't do the deal necessarily, but maybe it means you be more vigilant and you help ground your expectations. And maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but still it's valuable. So there's multiple points here. I hope you understood them. I hope you got value from this. And if you enjoyed this video and you can think of anyone else who might find this video interesting, please, if you can support by sharing this video with them, it would be amazing. The reason I say this is because I really truly believe that in the future, men will be more conscious. Men will know how to healthily process their emotions better. In the future, men will know how to have healthier relationships, intimate relationships, more fuller, more fulfilling relationships. They'll be clearer on their purpose and knowing themselves as a man. That's a future that can be created. And it's the work like this, the discussions like this, which is going to help create that future. And that's why I ask you, please, if you would like to help create that future, please do share this video with someone else who might find it interesting. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can add me on Instagram. I'd love to connect with you. So thanks for joining me. It was a pleasure, and I look forward to catching you in the next chapter. Bye.